Welcome back, math fans. Let's take a look in this video at some compound shapes. What that means is we are going to take all of the shapes we've talked about, we're going to glue some of them together, and we are going to calculate the area of those resulting shapes. This is what happens when math teachers go wild. So this first one, and we are not going to go through every single one of these. I'm going to say that right at the beginning. What I see in the first one is a shape that I don't have a formula for. I'm not even sure what I would call that thing. But the other thing I see is that I could cut off that piece, and I could cut off this piece, and I would get one whole circle. So if I could find the area of the circle, whoop, and then inside here, I see a plain old rectangle. So if I take the area of that circle and the area of the rectangle, if I add them together, I get the area of the whole thing. So buckle your helmets, folks, because here we go. We're going to start by finding the area of the circle. And you guys know that the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. So let's see what we've got. I know that from the center of that half circle to the edge is 5 meters. Well, that looks just like our picture of a radius from the first part of these notes. So to get the area, we want to do pi times 5 squared. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now I'm going to look at this rectangle. Now I do know this top piece is 15 because the opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent. But I don't have much information about the short sides of the rectangle. Wait a minute. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that I know from here to here on that rectangle is 5 meters because it's the radius of the circle. And then if I do the same thing, I'm going to put that in red so it shows up a little better. From the center to the top of that rectangle would be 5 meters. It's the radius of the circle. And then from the center to the bottom edge of that rectangle is also 5 meters. And if I add those together, I get the full side of that rectangle. I think we are back in business. Well, I know the area of a rectangle was base times height. You could do length times width if you prefer. Same thing, different name. The base of that rectangle is 15. The height we figured out was 10. Now it used to be with the old school calculators or even the plain calculator on your phone, you would have to do the math and write it down for the purple part and do the green math and write it down, then plug them all in together. Please don't do that. Please just go to Desmos and do it all at once. So 3.14 times 5 squared plus 15 times 10. So I have a total area of 228.5 meters squared. Don't forget the squared. So I'm going to mosey on over here to this one. It looks sort of like a wonky ice cream cone. That is the official name for this shape, a wonky ice cream cone. it before. I see half a circle right here. And then I see a triangle. So if I find the area for half a circle, I don't know why I keep crossing my L in the circle. And I find the area of the triangle, and I add them together, I get the whole thing. So I need half of pi r squared, because that's the formula for the area of the circle. Area of a triangle was 1/2 base times height. So let's go find some stuff. In my half circle, I know the radius. The radius is 2. So I'm going to do half of pi times 2 squared. I know the base of my triangle is 6. I know the height is, well, I don't know the height. But because I was paying attention when I was talking about the first one, I know a trick. I know that I can rotate that radius around this way and find that length. And then if I rotate that same radius around this way, I can find this piece. And if I add them together, I get the length of the whole thing. So my base is 6, the height is 4. Y'all, don't play with this. Go put it in Desmos. So we have 1/2 times 3.14 times 2 squared plus 1/2 times 6 times 4. So my total area is 18.28 centimeters. Three is half a circle and 2 triangles. The catch is you have to realize that this is the same as the radius of the triangle. So we could do it real quick. Oh, stop complaining. Yeah, you think I didn't hear it. So if I do the circle, I only want half of the circle. Start out by WTF. We'll do the triangles in blue. So I have 2 triangles. So I'm not going to find both of them. I'm going to find one and multiply by 2 because I'm going to work smarter and not harder. The area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Please hold. So we want 2 times the triangle. So I'm going to fill in my pieces. For the circle, I have a radius of 7. And then I want to add 2 because I have 2 triangles. Base, we figured out was 7, and the height was 15. I'm going to go straight to Desmos. I'm going to use 0.5 instead of 1/2 just because it's fewer keystrokes. 3.14 times 7 squared, that's not a 7. That's what happens when you have little sausage fingers like me. And then 2 times 0.5 times 7 times 15. So the area of my whatever you want to call it is 181.93 inches squared. I guess that would, if you turn it sideways, it kind of looks like Pac-Man wearing a plague mask. Maybe. Oh, y'all. You didn't catch me on my units on that second one. Y'all let me make a mistake and didn't say a word. You want to be ashamed of yourselves. 4 is a little different. 4 is a rectangle. I can handle that part. And that's the wrong blue. So we need the area of the rectangle. And we just have half a circle again. So we're going to write the formula. The area of a rectangle is base times height. The area of a circle, I'm going to multiply by 1/2, is pi r squared. Or for my rectangle, I have a base of 32 and a height of 24. And for my circle, or my half circle, I need pi times, I have a radius of 9. Ms. Graham, why did you use parentheses around the 9 and not the other times? Just because that's what came out of my stylus. I'm not being fancy. I don't have insider information. That's just the way it happened. There we go. My squared button got stuck. So the area of my whole shape, which kind of looks like the front of the Alamo, would be 895.17 meters squared. I got it that time. I don't see any of these that look overly tricky. We've done one. Like most of these, you should be able to pull all of the pieces together by now. If you struggle or you want to work through the last 5 and see if you got them right, by all means, feel free to email me a screenshot of your notes, and I'll happily look at your work. I'm sure Ms. Klingler would be too. Stay tuned for the next video for Math 0300.